Welcome to the Freelancer's Friend, episode 13.
What I found was there was a lot of clients who wanted to work with me, but they weren't quite ready to do so. I really didn't want to turn them away because I knew I could help them. And at a future date, they might be willing to, or they might be ready, right, to actually, hire me.
If you want to enjoy a thriving freelance business, then learning from others with the knowledge and experience is invaluable. Our guest this time is Destini Copp, who helps people to reduce their reliance on purely services or freelance work. And in this episode we chat about adding digital products or online courses to your freelance offering, why you would want to, what works best, where to start, and other interesting ideas and advice about this. So let's get on with it. So welcome Destini, thanks for joining us. Where are you calling from?
I am from Atlanta, Georgia. Where are you from?
I'm in Nottingham in the UK, Robin Hood country.
All right. I love that. I love that area.
And you're a college marketing professor, or was a college marketing professor with more than 25 years experience. And you became an online entrepreneur. Now you're able to work part-time because you work smart and focus only on revenue generating activities. You have a large number of students on your online courses, and you're still growing your business by helping people to scale their business. So a common difficulty freelancers experience is maintaining a reliable income, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And instead of not knowing what the next month's going to bring. I'm guessing many don't consider adding products or to complement their services. So what makes adding a product or a range of products a good idea for a freelancer?
Yeah, so I'll give you some examples specifically from my business because I've been a freelancer in the past and offering services. And this is what kind of drove me to really focus on the digital product side. So I've been a Facebook ad consultant in the past. I also help people build sales funnels, so marketing sales funnels for their online businesses. So I was doing that for some time, and what I found was there was a lot of clients who wanted to work with me, but they weren't quite ready to do so. Meaning, they couldn't afford me, number one, right? Because they just weren't far enough along in their business, and I really didn't want to turn them away because I knew I could help them. And at a future date, they might be willing to, or they might be ready, right, to actually, hire me because I had a pretty high retainer. My retainers were anywhere from, depending on what it was, right, anywhere from like $2,500 to $5,000 or more a month. So there was a lot of people that they're like, I really want to work with you, but I'm just not ready yet. So what I found was in offering online courses, and now I also have a membership, I had people who were I was able to help, and they were actually able to learn from me, and I didn't have to turn them away. So that would be one of the reasons why a freelancer would want to add a digital product like an online course or a membership to their product portfolio. And I'm just giving you one example there, but that's directly from my own business.
It's a way that you can still help people who you might not be able to help in other ways, whether it's the cost of your services or some other reason. You can still help them if you can't provide a service for them.
Absolutely. And just going back to the Facebook ad example, there's a lot of people out there who want to run Facebook ads, but quite frankly, they aren't quite ready to do so. They have to put some, foundational blocks in their business. So what I was able to do with my online courses is just help them get to a point where they might be able to work with me in the future.
We're talking about digital products when you talk about offering products apart from your online courses. Which we could go into a bit more later if you don't mind. I'm just wondering about you help people to develop digital products which can be resold over and over and be created at low cost or for free and involve little or no extra overheads. So what kind of digital products work best?
So I'll give you some examples here. So in my business, I have a suite of online courses. So in various type areas. One has called an on-to-month launch bundle, which walks them through how to set up sales funnels. So that's one example. So basically what that is, and I know a lot of people right now are experienced with online learning, right? Because all of our kids
Mm-hmm.
did virtual learning,
Mm-hmm.
during COVID. So basically it's
Mm.
taking that knowledge that you have as a freelancer, right? So you have a ton of knowledge, whether you're helping people with social media or maybe you're doing, website design for them or whatever. So basically you're taking that knowledge and kind of the steps and processes that you do when you're working with your clients, and you're teaching people how to do what you do. So you're taking videos, or maybe you're speaking to the camera like what we're doing now, but you're basically putting together an online course and walking people through kind of your knowledge and expertise. So let me just break it down just a little bit more here. So let's assume that you are a website designer, and let's assume you create Squarespace websites for people. So I'll just give you that one example. So maybe you're a retainer, or for you to build a website for somebody, maybe it's, $5,000 to $10,000. And, there's people out there that obviously can't afford that yet. So for those type of people, you could put together an online course walking them through the very basic steps to get their initial Squarespace website up and running, and just do videos, just walk them through, do screen sharing, right, of what you do to set up a very, very basic website. Put it in videos. You can put it on an online course platform, and we can talk about that in a little bit more details, but there's tons of them in the marketplace that are very economical. You just upload these online videos to this online course platform, and you have what we call an online course or a digital product to sell. So when people come to your website, so they're coming to, let's just say your website is greatwebsitedesigner.com. When they come to your website and they're looking for somebody to help them build a Squarespace website, you can have a couple of options up there in your work for me section. One of them can say work for me, and you can give them a little bit more details and click here to set up a consult. And that's when you can, meet with them face to face over Zoom or whatever, and kind of go through what their requirements are. Or you can say, learn with me, and then there you would lead them into, and there's different ways you can set this up, but basically at the end of that funnel, if you would, that sales funnel, they have the opportunity to purchase your online course, which walks them through the very basics of setting up that Squarespace website. So that is basically how it works, but it's a digital product that you can sell over and over and over again. You can sell it on your social media accounts, you can sell it on your website, and it's basically there for people who can't afford your services, or they're just not
Yeah.
ready for your services yet.
Would you say it's normally best to create these kinds of things, these products, by yourself or get help? I suppose it depends on your own kind of skill levels, or...
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. So in general, for somebody who is not in this marketplace, and just to kind of keep it, let you know, I've been teaching online at a university since 2005. So really before online learning has become so popular as it is now in 2021. So to me, right, I would say it's extremely easy. Anybody can do it, right? Anybody can do, use screen sharing. There's tons of software out there where you can do screen share your computers and take kind of, video recordings of you setting up a Squarespace site, because we'll continue with that particular illustration here. So, that's easy. So you take those videos and then you upload it to the online course platform. So from that perspective, I would say a lot of us would say that's pretty easy, right? We're familiar with doing screen share type stuff, but there are some other things that you need to know when you're working to create and sell these digital products. So I would always encourage somebody to get help, so they're not, making all the mistakes that all of us have made before them.
And like you say, I think it's a large part of what you do is helping people to create online courses. Is that right?
That is correct. So in our business, we help freelancers and service providers add these digital products, whether it's an online course or a membership. And I can talk about those differences in just a second if you want, but we help them create. But most importantly, we help them market it and sell them. So, how do you set up the sales funnels for something like this? How do you market it? How do you get people to find you, which find you for your business in general? So we definitely go through and help people with all that.
And how do you help people with the actual marketing? Do you have any general suggestions or recommendations when it comes to the marketing and selling of the products or courses?
Yeah, absolutely. So I love what we call evergreen sales funnels. Some people call them automated sales funnels. And just to kind of explain a little bit about what that means this is when somebody comes to your website or or however they find you. Maybe you're speaking on a podcast, or maybe, they're coming just to your website and they, are interested in your services or interested in buying this online course from you. And they come to your website, you can say, click here to learn more. And generally what we'll do for most people out there, not all people, but there's different ways to set this up. But for a lot of people, you can do basically what we call a recorded webinar presentation. Okay, so this is just teaching them a little bit, and we have a very specific template and process, guideline, if you would, on how to set something like this up. But it's a recorded webinar presentation, which goes into more detail about, what they want to learn, right? In this case, we're going back to that example. They want to learn how to set up their Squarespace website. So you can walk through, some tips and tricks and guidance on that. And at the end of that, basically you offer them, if you want to take this a step further, if you want to learn more, I have this wonderful online course that you can purchase to, get your website set up in a week, or whatever your promise transformation is. And it goes to a sales page, and that's when you give them a little bit more about your course and how it's set up and what they can expect in terms of their promise transformation. And then they can click to purchase from there. And this is what we call, like I said, an evergreen or automated sales funnel. There are different ways you can set this up, right? You could do a live launch where you're doing live webinars and trying to get people into your course. I generally, especially for freelancers and service providers like us, that takes a lot of energy and effort, and we don't have time to do live launches, right? Because we're busy helping clients and working with clients. So I like what we call evergreen or automated sales funnels, especially for everybody who's working with clients, because it happens on the back end on your website. And, people can either choose to work with you or they can choose to purchase your online course.
Right. So you found webinars are one of the best ways of getting people in. Once you get people to watch the webinar itself in the first place.
Yeah, so I love webinars. Like I said, there's other ways you can set this up. Right now, currently in my business, I don't have a webinar set up. I have people can sign up for what I call a free mini course, which walks them through something, basically a training that I have. But it's the same thing, right? It's not a webinar, but it is training still. But like I said, there's different ways you can set this up. And they all work, quite frankly.
I saw that you had a 5-day challenge offer. Is that the sort of thing you're talking about?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So if you go to the main page of my website, it's a 5-day scale challenge mini course. It's a challenge, right? I walk them through 5 days of it, but it is in a mini course that's in my online course platform, which is Kajabi. So when people sign up for it, they go through the training. So it's not just one recorded training. There's multiple ones in there. And multiple things that I'm covering with them, but it essentially, they're all training, right? It's all information where you're helping people and you're teaching people.
Mm-hmm. And if you do a webinar, you don't really need to be that aggressive with the selling at the end of it. You just need to provide value, I would say. myself, and because you do see, I'm guessing a lot of people listening would have seen webinars so far where they're basically giving you a little information and just keeping you in, and with various kinds of sales tactics, and until they get to the big sell at the end. We won't charge you $5,000. We won't charge you $2,500 today. It's only $49. This,
Yeah.
but anyway, that's going off topic a bit.
Well, I know.
Um,
I think you're bringing up a very good part, and I'm not a proponent. I've been in marketing, like you said, for 25 years, and I'm not a proponent of what I call those kind of sleazy marketing tactics. I don't think, it's not something I do in my business. And quite frankly, I don't think that the people who are attracted to me, right, and want to
no,
purchase from me are interested in them either. So I don't teach that. I don't believe in it. And I'm sure a lot of your listeners don't either.
no, I'm guessing a lot of people can see right through it anyway. So if someone wants to add products or courses to what they offer, where would you say is the best place to start?
So here's where I would start as a freelancer, somebody who's providing services. What I would think is when you're talking with your clients, like you're on a discovery call with them, there's going to be some, right, that bids that you win and sometimes that you don't get for whatever reason. Maybe they're not ready, or maybe they don't have the money right now or the budget right now. So I would figure out, what's keeping those people from moving forward? And is there anything you could do to help them get them to that next step? So going back to the example that I had earlier with me being a Facebook ad consultant, I had a lot of people contact me that they just weren't ready in their business. They didn't have the foundations in their business to really start running Facebook ads. And quite frankly, it would have been unethical for me to take their money and to start running ads because I knew they wouldn't convert because they hadn't done all the basic business principles and setting their business up for success for Facebook ads. So what I did, I went to the drawing board and I said, how can I help these people get to where they need to be so that at some point in the future, whether it's 6 months down the road, 3 months down the road, whatever, how can I help them get their business to where they need to be, where they can start running ads? And that's where I started. So, as freelancers, you have a lot of knowledge, right? You're working directly with your clients. You have a ton of knowledge about your ideal customer. And quite frankly, a lot of people out there that aren't doing this service-based work like you are, they're not there yet. So you definitely have an advantage from that standpoint because you know your ideal customer so well. So really just take a step back and analyze, how can I help those people who either aren't quite ready for me or they just don't have, they need to do a couple more steps before they can work with me.
You mentioned online course platforms. If people are doing courses rather than one-off products, did you want to say anything more about the platforms that you were going to mention?
Yeah, so I think this is a great question because a lot of people get kind of tripped up in the tech, if you would, when they're thinking about creating an online course. And it's really a lot more simple than what we think it is. So, the video creation can be as simple as doing a screen share of your computer, whether it's a presentation that you're doing a voiceover on, or whether it's, you're taking a screen share of your computer, basically walking people through how to create a website, like a Squarespace website that we talked about earlier. So you just simply take these videos. This is how easy these online course platforms have made it. You simply take these videos where you've done these screen sharing, right? Or voiceover or PowerPoint or whatever, or Google Slides, and then upload them to their online course platform, and it is packaged there for you to sell it. So basically the only thing that somebody has to do to purchase your online course is to, go to this, basically this cart that's on this online course platform and click to purchase. You can set it up so it's tied into your PayPal account or your Stripe account, and so you can get revenue, get your money from it. But they have made it so easy, and there's a lot of them out there, quite frankly. You can, check out Teachable, you can check out Thinkific, you can check out Learn Worlds, you can check out Podia. I use Kajabi, which is my favorite. It's just a little, it's a little pricier than some of the other ones, but there's a ton of them. I've even gone to AppSumo for some clients that I've worked with in the past, and there's a lot of startups where you can buy lifetime access. So I would definitely go out and do a lot of do some research on that. But you really can't go wrong with any of them, quite frankly. And I wouldn't allow this particular decision to stop you from moving forward. I would make a decision and move on, because it's not going to affect, how many you sell or whether or not somebody's going to buy it or not. You just need a place to host your videos. That's all a place for people to buy. That's all you need.
Right. Yeah. So there's plenty of options out there for actually delivering the course or product. It's just basically getting on with it, getting your product out there, working out what kind of medium it would best be served in. Is there anything else you can add to what you've already said about adding digital products to your services?
The one thing I would leave everybody with is, number one, it's easier than you think it is. And if you think you don't have the time, you really do. It's really just a matter of recording videos of your knowledge and uploading them into an online course platform. Where a lot of people out there who want to offer online courses, where they struggle is they don't know their ideal customers. But service providers and freelancers, like the folks who are listening here today, because you're working directly with the one-on-one clients, you have such a leg up on folks, because you just know your ideal customer so well, because you're working with them on a one-on-one basis. So get started, get it out there in the world. I can guarantee you're going to modify it. It's going to change. You're going to reposition it, later down the road. But just get started, and then you can go from there, because you're going to learn so much by going through the process.
Okay, good. Thank you. And something that's just come to mind is, what if you're an introverted or more of an introverted type of freelancer, and you don't really like getting in front of the camera? There are obviously other ways you can provide help and education, information, products, and this kind of thing. You don't necessarily have to get on a video or do an audio recording, or is it wise to kind of work yourself up, work a way around that, and actually get into creating videos and such?
So I think that's a great question, and I'm an introvert myself, a very, very strong introvert. I actually am very uncomfortable getting on video, even talking with you today. So that is very difficult for me. So I'll let you know that. What I do with a lot of my online courses is you can have like in a Zoom, or there's a lot of different ones out there. I record a lot of online course videos in Canva when I'm doing screen share. So I do the presentation in Canva, and they have a thing where you can record the presentation in Canva too. You can include your head down there, or you don't have to. So if you don't want to be on camera, just do a presentation, do it in Google Slides or PowerPoint or whatever you feel comfortable doing.
You can always do it again and again until you're happy with it.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. You're recording. If you're not happy with what you recorded, you can start over. And, the videos, the other thing I want to point out is the videos should be short, right? 4 to 5 minute videos generally max. Sometimes I go up, to 10 minutes, but I like to keep the videos very short. And that's just something that we've learned in online higher education and just online education in general, that people would rather binge watch than watch a 30-minute video. They would rather some short ones. So you can easily, if you didn't like a 4 or 5 minute video that you just recorded, you could easily record it, no problem.
Excellent. And if you've not got anything else to add, I've got one more question.
Give it to me.
First, I better ask you about the main place where people can find out more about you or get in touch with you if they want to.
Yeah, so my website is the best place to go. It's destinicopp.com, Destiny with an I at the end, not a Y. But if you love listening podcasts, which I know a lot of your listeners do, I have a podcast called the Course Creators MBA Podcast. In this podcast, we cover some teaching stuff, but mostly we cover stories of people like all of you who are listening here today and how they've added online courses or membership to their business. So we've talked about their journey and kind of how some of the twists and turns that they have taken to get there. So all the stories are great. Everybody's story is different because everybody's journey is different.
Excellent. And that info will be in the show notes as usual. So here's a question I ask every guest, and it's, what's the one most important thing to do or be for freelancing success?
That's a great question. The one thing that I would say is, I'll just say setting expectations up front. And that's kind of, coming back to my background in terms of what I was doing with working with Facebook and Instagram ads. So I was using other people's money, right, to drive revenue into their business. And you really had to set expectations up front, because I can tell you every single client that I worked with when they first came to me, they thought, I can get Facebook and Instagram ads leads for $2 or whatever. So I really had to work hard to set expectations on what they should expect in terms of the results. And I had to keep reiterating that and walking them through what the process was for what I was working on. So I would say setting client expectations was very critical for me.
Makes perfect sense. Okay. Thanks again for joining us, Destini. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks so much, Victor, for having me. I enjoy chatting with you.